Before we go on, just a quick note. We were having some confusion about what parts of the interface we were looking at. So when you look at the interface, you can see on the left-hand side that black ribbon, that's the Contents toolbar. On the right-hand side at the top is the Settings toolbar, and on the bottom right-hand side are the map controls. To be most efficient with drawing zoning parcels and any other features you want to show in your project or on your map, you need to have a good base map and be able to control how the base map appears in your workspace. You already have base maps and imagery in your current project, but I'm going to show you how to set the base map and import imagery, as well as search for imagery and data that are available to use in your project. In most cases, this will be a two-step process. 1. Search for the data or imagery to bring into the map, and 2. Importing the imagery or data by either adding the data layer or importing it using a URL or web address. To search for available imagery and data layers, click the Add Data button from the Contents toolbar and select Browse Layers. In the window that appears, you'll see the data layers that are currently available from your My Contents area. Click on the My Content link and you'll see a drop-down menu showing a list of locations, including My Favorites, My Groups, etc. For adding new data and imagery, the two selections you'll want to focus on will be the Living Atlas and the ArcGIS online links. Select the Living Atlas. You'll see several selections appear, but as you look at the choices, you will want to get the most recent imagery for the United States. If you look down at the layers returned by the query, you'll see that the World Imagery layer is the most recent data, coming in at March 26, 2026. Go ahead and click Add so that it adds that to the workspace. The image layer will likely be loaded on top of all your other data layers and cover up your working data layer. You can reorganize the data layers by going to the Data Layers tab, hover over the 6 dots to the left of that layer name, and if you press down on the left mouse button, you can drag the layer down below your working data layer so that your data reappears. Rather than use the base map selection on the Contents toolbar and selecting a base map to be included in your project, I find it's much better and more useful to include the base map as a separate data layer rather than using the base map selection on the Contents toolbar. If you do it this way, you'll have much more control on how and where your new data layer appears. Adding base maps from the Contents toolbar will always put the base map as the bottom data layer. But if you bring in a base map selection in as its own layer, you can move it above or below other layers and control the visibility of all the features that are on the map. Let me show you how this technique works. Click the Add Data button from the Contents toolbar and select Browse Layers. Select the Living Atlas from the drop-down menu. In the search bar below the Living Atlas selection, type in Base Map. Scroll down until you see the Open Base Map Streets with Relief. Click the Add button to add this layer to your project. Anytime you add a new layer to your project, you will see the Properties dialog box open up on the right-hand side of the screen. If by chance you do not see this dialog box, you can go to the Layers button on the Contents toolbar, and on the layer whose properties you want to interact with, click on the 3 dots to the right of the data layer selection. The Properties dialog will open up. You can use the Properties dialog box to control the transparency of the layer as well as other effects. Oftentimes, you will want to add data from a location that does not appear in the Living Atlas library or on ArcGIS Online. These types of data layers are provided as map services by third parties, for example, county or state governments, private data sources, etc. To add these types of data layers, you need to find the URL or web address where the data layer is published. For your project, you are using the data portal for Maricopa County, which opens to this page. Once you log into the page, you see the data layers that are included in the map. Scroll down to the Parcel Outline layer and click on the 3 dots to the right of the label. In the drop-down menu that appears, click on the description link. This will open up to a page that is titled ArcGIS REST Services Directory. Copy the web address from the web address bar. Anytime you are bringing in a map service, you will see the terms ArcGIS REST Services in the web address. In your project, click on the Add Layers icon on the Contents toolbar. Select Add Layer from URL from the drop-down menu and paste the URL you copied into the URL box in the Add Layer dialog menu. Where it says Type, click the first selection, GIS Web Service, and then click on Add to Map. In your project, you will now see the map service added as a data layer. While this shows the outlines of the parcels, it does not contain the visible notations for each parcel. Open the Maricopa Parcel Service page, scroll down to the annotation layer, and click on the three dots just as you did for the Parcel Boundary Service. In the drop-down menu, select Description and copy the web address from the web address bar. Just as you did before, go back to your project, click on the Add Layers icon on the Contents toolbar, and select Add Layer from URL. Paste the URL you copied into the URL box in the Add Layer dialog menu. Where it says Type, click on the first selection, ArcGIS Web Service, and then click on Add to Map. In your project, you will now see the Annotations Map Layer service added as a new data layer.